Hi, this is Jonathan Lunger of Hologramchat.com, and today I have a very special guest for the interview. Queen Quet is a published author, computer scientist, lecturer, mathematician, historian, columnist, preservationist, environmental justice advocate, environmentalist, film consultant, and the artivist. She's the founder of the premier advocacy organization for the continuation of the Gullah Geechee culture, the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition. Queen Quet has not only provided histo-musical presentations throughout the world, but was also the first Gullah Geechee person to speak on behalf of her people before the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland. Queen Quet was one of the first of 7 inductees to the Gullah Geechee Nation Hall of Fame. She received the Anointed Spirit Award for her leadership and for being a visionary. In 2008, she was recorded at UNESCO headquarters in Paris, France, at a United Nations conference in order to have the human rights story of the Gullah Geechee people archived for the United Nations. In 2009, she was invited by the Office of the High Commissioner of the United Nations to come and present before the newly founded Minority Forum as a representative of the Gullah Geechee Nation and the International Human Rights Association for American Minorities, which is an NGO in consultative status with the United Nations. Queen Quet is a directorate member for IHRAM and for the International Commission on Human Rights. She represented these bodies and the Gullah Geechee Nation at the United Nations Forum of Minority Rights. Queen Quet, thank you so much for being on the show, and I really appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How honored to do today?
Doing great. And the first question, I guess, was, what is the issue with the land in the Gullah Geechee Nation in terms of fair taxes compared to other areas?
Well, a lot of people might not even know where the Gullah Geechee Nation is, so to just make your listeners fully aware, the Gullah Geechee Nation begins in Jacksonville, North Carolina, and extends southward to Jacksonville, Florida. It takes in all of the sea islands, which we're literally in the Atlantic Ocean, and 30 to 35 miles inland to the St. Johns River. So many people, when they hear about the Gullah Geechee Nation, they've only heard of certain islands that have become gated areas or resort communities. And so as a result of these multi-million-dollar places being built where Gullah Geechee culture traditionally has been, we are now faced again with the potential displacement of Gullah Geechees due to an inordinate amount of taxation. And in some cases, some of these islands do not have public services such as a fire department or hospital or any type of health clinic or anything, or a school. So in this case, you're paying the same type of taxes or even more taxes that people may be paying in another area, but then you're not getting the services that their area is getting. But they will say, we're evening or sharing the tax burden equally because of a lot of people now having been foreclosed on in these multi-million-dollar destruction companies, others call development companies, coming in and doing things on speculation or having lost money because people are not traveling as much as they were to these resorts in these golf areas. And so now they've lost out of the actual ownership of properties, so the county can't get taxes from them, so they level these taxes across to everyone, including the Gullah Geechee population, which is indigenous to these sea islands. So as a result, many of us have received tax bills that have gone up $900 to $1,000 in one tax year on top of whatever the bill already was, and in some cases, that's anywhere from a 65% increase to a 500% increase, depending on what islands we're dealing with in the Gullah Geechee Nation, because we've had reassessments done on the Georgia coast and the South Carolina coast this year, and these new tax bills are just arriving, and many families are not going to be able to pay this money by January 15th on their own.
That is just totally unfair, and people need to know about this. I mean, in Oregon, people pay $40 for 10 acres in tax.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is incredible. And we're talking about a 4-acre parcel right now being $2,600 or more in taxes here on the Sea Island.
Yeah, that's not right.
Not at all.
Well, how can people help with this and support the efforts in the Gullah Geechee Nation to help keep the culture alive and bring more awareness to this?
Well, there's a few things that they can do. The Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, which I founded, can be found online at www.gullahgeechee.net, gullahgeechee.net. And for those who never heard of Gullah Geechee before, you're probably wondering how are we spelling that. And that's GULLAHGEECHEE.net. So if you go to gullahgeechee.net, you can become a member of the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition, which was the first organization in the world to ever exist with Gullah and Geechee in the name together. And we have been fighting for the land rights and human rights of Gullah Geechee since we started. And on December the 21st, we'll be 17 years old. And so as we approach our 20th year at this, it's not getting easier, but it helps when we have people around the world that are members and supporters. And so we definitely want folks to become members. And also we have the Gullah Geechee Land and Legacy fundraiser that we've been doing all year. If people are on Facebook, they can find Gullah Geechee Nation on Facebook and become a fan. And right at the top of that page, they'll see a yellow box that says Give. And if they click there, that's our fundraiser. If they're on Twitter, we're at Gullah Geechee or Gullah Geechee Folks on Twitter, and folks can see that we continue to post a link through Twitter as well to raise money for the Land and Legacy Fund, because these types of matters, it takes not only education, but it takes legislation and it takes legal action. And so year after year, we're in court having to fight legal battles to maintain the ownership of sacred land areas that are burial grounds. We're having to help to pay money to keep people on their land and to keep their taxes paid. We do heirs property workshops and so on. And all of this is done free of charge for the community, but nothing in the world is free. And so we definitely would like people to support us. And if you want to mail in checks, because I know some folks are like, well, I'd like to make donations, but I don't want to send things out on the internet. I don't like to put my credit cards on the internet. They can always email us to GULLGEECO@AOL.com. That's GULLGEECO@AmericaOnline.com, at AOL.com. And so if you email us, we can send you the mailing address for the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition and also the Gullah Geechee Angel Network, because the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition is a grassroots organization with national and international members and supporters. And the Gullah Geechee Angel Network is a nonprofit 501c3, which is the official nonprofit for the Gullah Geechee Nation. So if people want to contribute so that this matter can be something that continues to be fought successfully, as we've done over all these years, to be able to still be on our land, then we really need your support to be active members all year long, and of course to help us with this financial goal. Right now we're in the last $1,000 online that we're trying to raise, but we still need to raise another $3,000 offline. So we always have two different things going on in terms of these types of fundraising efforts to really keep things going and keep things going in the community. And then there's a number of other organizations within the Gullah Geechee Nation that we help support them by doing fundraising events with them, supporting festivals they have, fish fries even that they have, to help the individuals in the communities raise the money that the families each need for land taxes. So it's a massive sum if we were to add up the millions of dollars in taxes that Gullah Geechees pay every year just for land taxes alone, just to be able to maintain what our ancestors truly lived on, put their blood, sweat, and tears into, fought for, and just wanted to have a place for their future generations to live peacefully, safely, and be able to raise their own families. And now we're faced with climate change coming in from the ocean side and human taxation coming in from the other side trying to squeeze us out. So we really appreciate shows like this that want to get to the truth and also want to get the word out to the global community about how people can come and help be an active part of this effort to keep our culture alive on these islands, because it doesn't exist anywhere else.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm going to try to get Teddy on the other phone right now. His family's from the area near Beaufort, Selden.
Yes, Sheldon. Right, that's part of Beaufort County, actually.
Nice.
He's closer to our mainland areas.
Yeah. Hey, I got you on speakerphone. This is Theodore Mitchell, and you had a question for Queen Quet?
He's homeboy. Glad for yet he said another day.
How you doing?
I do well. How another do? How on the family up yonder?
Everybody's doing great.
Glad for yet so. What's going on?
Well, I don't really have a question, but it is great to learn about this information because I really didn't know that it was that intense with the taxes. I know that our taxes went up a little bit, but our taxes is not really that high in Sheldon itself.
Right.
But I do know that that people are struggling down there, and I know that they definitely bought up Fusky Island for really cheap years back and built a golf course on it, and I could see with all the different aspects of the problems going on down there with they running the people out off the islands and stuff and didn't pay them much money for that island. So I'm just glad that John is putting this on his show to get more involved with this because we have talked over the years about going on. I know that a lot of gated communities is being put up in our here. Mitchell family, the Brown, Mitchell, Chisholm, and Scott family has been in that area for over 100 years, and we know within our family that we're trying to keep our land in our family. So I'm going to be here to make everybody aware of everything that is going on down there, so then that way that our family can help out as much as possible. And I know that I want to keep in touch with you because maybe sometime you could come down to the family reunion because we have our family reunion every 2 years and down and maybe speaking the younger folks and stuff.
Yes.
To see what they have and get that feeling to keep it into our family and keep the land into our family and our tradition alive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do a lot of presentations at family reunions for that exact purpose, to really educate our own people on the value of it. And you'd be surprised when you say the younger people aren't usually the problem, because the younger people are learning a lot even through social media and even in their cultures about Gullah Geechee culture. But a lot of times it's the elders who moved away who say, well, there's nothing of value there, or there's not a big grocery store and a big box store down the road, so I don't want to be there, so I'm not going to pay the taxes. And then the younger people are not in the financial position to pay it necessarily, and they're not the next line of heirs, so sometimes they lose out on their inheritance because it's the older people in the family who are not that well educated or have been told that our culture was something backwards and ignorant and that they should get rid of it. So they didn't want young people to crack people like that. They shouldn't want to take like that. So then they don't go away stuff, but they end up and all that. And so as a result, you lose land, you lose culture, you lose heritage. So that means you lost all of your inheritance at that point. So I truly appreciate you and others who value the culture and value the land and are seeking to be the people to help educate the rest of the families so that we all will remain here. And I know our ancestors are very proud of that, because in 1862 is when most of our family members in this region became the owners of the very same property on which they had previously been enslaved. So when you mentioned your family owned it 100 years, my family's owned theirs since 1862 on both sides. So all of we the Binya and we in the Guano with tall. So we just have to work together.
Yes, that's definitely what we have to do. One thing I'm glad with our family and stuff that the older people actually is one of the people that is keeping everything alive, and that's why we have our family reunion every 2 years, so we can teach the and then educate them actually like what you were saying and stuff, and what they don't know about the land and stuff and what we have there, because actually we have, my son is from the other side, is from the logging side of our family, and they don't realize that they have money within those logs and stuff, and they end up selling their property cheap when all they have to do is do a little logging and then get a little money and then be able to keep their property, you know?
Exactly, and that economic empowerment element is one of the main things that the Gullah Geechee Sea Island Coalition has pushed for years. You would be surprised how many people are giving away their gold mine, like you're mentioning, because they don't realize the value. They literally cannot see the forest for the trees in this kind of situation. And they don't realize how valuable that forest is in so many ways to them, even economically as well as culturally. And so, yeah, it's going to take this broadcast and many, many more, and folks like you joining us on the ground here to educate our people even about those things and even about family LLCs and what heirs property really is and things like that, so that they know the tools that are available to them, like you said, because once you sell land once, that money is gone after a while. But wherein if you can sustain yourself from the various things that God blesses you to grow on the land, you'll have that for multiple more generations to come, and it'll be hundreds and hundreds of years. And somebody will be on here saying, yep, we still from these families, and we're still in shelter. We're still from these families. We're still on St. Helena. And so definitely it's critical. And so I'm glad. I'll be looking forward to hearing more from you about when the reunion will be held.
Yes, definitely, Queen, and I appreciate you. I'm glad that actually it was John that found you years ago, and we've just been keeping a watch and listening to your videos and everything. And I'm starting to pass that on to the family so that they could know of you, and you will start seeing some of the families joining your website and your list and everything, because I know that we're over 5 to close to 1,000 strong within our family. Big family, as you know, down in and stuff. Everybody, a big family, and our family was one of those families that was a huge family. So we will definitely keep in touch, and I will definitely help as much as I can to spread the word and the information of the Gullah Geechee Nation.
I appreciate that, and definitely for your family members and even John or your listeners, if they are into blogging or they want to connect with Gullah Geechee TV that my brother just spoke about, they can just go to GullahGeecheeNation.com. GullahGeecheeNation.com, and they'll see at the top of that page where they can click for Gullah Geechee TV, Gullah Geechee Rhythm Radio. Those broadcasts come on weekly so that people can keep up with what is going on down here. And even with Gullah Geechee Rhythm Radio, they can interact by calling into the show, letting us know about events, activities, fundraisers, Gullah Geechee folks that we don't know about that's really making a mark in the world. They can let us know about that. And then there are other links there, foodways and environmental justice and all of these that keep people abreast of other efforts that are going on in the Gullah Geechee Nation as a whole. So if they go to GullahGeecheeNation.com, you can subscribe for free. Gullah Geechee Rhythm Radio is even available on iTunes. They can subscribe there for free, and you can get Gullah Geechee TV right on YouTube. So, and they can go to GullahGeechee.tv and get to it as well. And so we're also with all of those things on Facebook. For those who are active on there, they can find each one of those on there as well as Gullah Geechee Nation. And every day on the Gullah Geechee Nation Facebook fan page and on our Twitter feed at Gullah Geechee, we're posting up-to-date information, up-to-date political actions, up-to-date protests, letter writing campaigns, petitions, fundraisers, so folks can always stay tuned and know what's happening, and they can plan for festivals and festivities to come down and really support the nation and the work that's going on. So I truly appreciate it, and we know with even this broadcast and you posting up, we'll make sure you get some good pictures to go with it so that folks can see a little bit of the landscape if they've never been here, but they really want to see what we're fighting for, because sometimes, like they say, the picture is worth 1,000 words. And so I'm glad that you've allowed some words to go with these images today too, that we're here still. And as I said, we ain't going nowhere tall.
Not at all. Thank you very much, Queen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Theodore, and thank you, Queen Quet.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing the hologram come to life.
Yeah, me too. It'll be soon.
Yes.
All right, y'all have a great day.
You too. Peace and blessings.
All right, peace and blessings.